Hi people, here we have the Fantic XEF 310. I just bought the bike last week and so far I've been riding it for like 5 hours, some enduro event and some motocross track, and I thought let's share my first thoughts about the bike. So far I've been really enjoying it. It's of course very much based on the Yamaha WR250 with a couple of changes. They changed the exhaust system. It has a full aero exhaust system, which is a good thing because the WR250 is very much choked on the muffler. And it also comes stuck with a Get ECU. So with the WeGet app, you can change a lot of parameters to the bike. So that's a very good thing. It makes the power come to life a little bit more, of course. It of course has a factory 300cc kit, or 310 in this case, to give it a little bit more power, or at least torque. I also opted to go for the hydraulic clutch option, which I not too sure about. It has a very light pull to it, but it also doesn't have that much feedback on the clutch. It's also a hydraulic cable actuated clutch, so I don't really know about that. Maybe I will change it back to cable clutch once again. So let's go a little bit around the motocross track in Beast Houthakker in the Netherlands. It's a sand track, and here we go to a little bit of riding. I took the bike out and I rode like 2 hours. I did like 85 kilometers on the motocross track, which is actually quite a lot, and this bike made it actually very easy. The power of the bike comes in very easily. It doesn't have a big hit or anything, but it still has enough power that if you want to lift the front wheel, you can skim some bumps and everything. So it's very easy to ride, and it's kind of fun to ride. But looking back at the footage, it just kind of sounds um, slow. It kind of looks slow because nothing really interesting happened all day, but that is mostly due because the bike is doing actually really good. And I've checked the lap times with what I normally do, and I was actually doing pretty decent lap times. For me, of course, I'm not a professional rider, I'm just an average steady Joe, so take my word for it. So I've done a little bit of riding. Of course, it has KYB suspension, the same as in a WR250 or in a YZF 250. It might have a little bit of different valving for it being a fully purpose-built enduro bike, but still it does very decent on a sandy motocross track. Also, the handling of this bike is actually really good. Even though I make a little bit of a mistake over here, this bike really turns on a dime. It's still very stable, and it doesn't really matter if you want to take the inside line or the outside line. The bike goes wherever you want it to go. Maybe it's rider error and not as much the bike. It felt actually really confidence inspiring. So that is something I really like. As I said, the power comes in very smooth. You can still lift the front wheel over the bumps as you saw here, which is really nice. It still has quite a decent amount of power. I also rode an enduro event with it, and my brother with his KDM 300 two-stroke, the last version with the carburetor. I barely have to give in on the straights. We won like 4 or 5 meters over a half mile sprint, so it isn't really that bad. It's actually very good, decent power. Then of course the suspension at this point is still a little bit on the stiff side. It hasn't really broken in yet, but so far I don't really think I have to do too much to the suspension because it actually feels really good so far. Only on the enduro event, as I said, maybe a little bit stiff, but I think when it breaks in it will do perfectly fine. The only things I've done to the bike is I put mousses in the tires, and for the motocross track right now it also runs mousses, and I have some motocross tires on it. But I did the enduro event earlier on with the stock tires with mousses in it, and it just grips. It doesn't do anything weird. It's actually phenomenal so far.